Hey guys, this is Kirop speaking, and in today's little dev update we are going to take a look at the latest developments of the Cyclist Tactics and its Path 2, February 3rd, which will be our demo release. And we are now in that supposed demo version of the game, which now has the appropriate limits built into it for the demo version. That is one of those little things that you don't really think about as a player, that is something that takes time. Just like, oh, you actually have to create a settings menu, which we have, and these things are actually hooked up, which is quite nice. And yes, translations, they are in, and you can already use them. We are going to get a new set of strings translated for all the new stuff that we have put in. They're not yet in there. As you can see, German is not called Deutsch, but rather German at the moment, and that's because it's falling back to the default when it can't find the string with a translation. That is going to be sent off towards the end of the week, and that is the point where we are basically done with all the text writing for the various changes we have done. Oh, I didn't want to play in German though, so Let's get it back to the proper language. Yes. And what else is new in here? Well, settings menu working is quite good. No, credits, the most important screen ever. No one ever looks at. But yes, it's in there. And tutorials. There has been a lot of work done on the tutorials. Last episode I briefly discussed that we were having some issues with the flow of the tutorials, that it was way too convenient to click past all the important mentor text messages, and that is a bit of a pitfall because you really can't. There's a lot of important stuff in there. So what we have done in the meantime, between the last episode on the 27th of December and today's episode, is not only finished all the scripting for all the tutorials, apart from a few little issues in there, but really nothing major. Will be reasonably quick to fix. We have also started implementing, for tutorial 1 in this version I'm currently playing, some crutches for that issue, and I think that will do its job pretty well. Let me show you. So what was happening was that it was way too easy to click away these texts and just not read them. But now, whoa, shit, something happened. Because the tendency of players is to only pay attention to when the screen really changes, and blah 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 doesn't change the screen. So what we have tried to do with this is to point at things that are being talked about. So that means that for the most important stuff that is new, things will pop up on your screen, like this one. It's like, oh, okay, yes. This is recovery, this is energy, this is attack, this is terrain. Okay, you see, yes, different terrain even. Flat 1 and flat, yes, and there's some symbols down there, and you get tooltips, and everything is there. That's pretty cool. Okay, so what does the mentor say? And there, boom, okay. It is drawing attention to something important has just happened. Probably better read up on what it is. Of course, you're supposed to read all the mentor messages, and there is a lot of important information that you would miss if you don't do that. But I think this adds a few crutches that are quite important to have, that something changes in there. So open up by riding a decent pace, and that doesn't require you to use energy or attack. We are on the flat, boom, points out the terrain. So that still gets us a fair bit down the road this turn. Cool, yes, that's nice information, nicely packed into words, but you also have that information partly here, or just the crutches for it. So let's click that away. Terrain is not being mentioned in here, but it does mention that you should make a move that doesn't require energy, blue, or attack, which is orange. So, okay, if you still need the crutches, they are right there. Ah, okay, yeah, this was energy and this is attack. So, no attack and no energy, yeah, that would be these, right? But also these. But, it states doesn't recover energy. Okay, So everything is in here, so that you can, if you missed it, play that regardless, which I think is quite handy. So this continues on throughout, and I'm just going to click through, and you see, oh yeah, it's pointing out that again. I of course know the scripting of the tutorials. Oh, did you see that beautiful camera movement as well? Yes, camera movement has been optimized for some of the tutorials, so that it scrolls to the sections that he's talking about, and then can point at things as well, so that it's not just purely descriptive, and you have to like go back manually and look at it like, what is he talking about? But rather it is all more streamlined. It is doing the camera movement for you to get to the place he's currently talking about, and so on. So I think this is going to work reasonably well. It is not the most flash tutorial ever, but there's a lot of good information in it. And I think with these additional crutches and just the breaking of the flow in important moments, I think that will get more people to be able to play this and learn the game through it. Alright, I think it's, we can go out of there then. Let's take a look at what else has changed. I mentioned that we have implemented the actual demo. So yes, we now have the content of the demo actually delineated here. And we found a solution for how to display it so that it is obvious what is there in the full game versus what is in there in the demo. Notice, well, deactivated this panel. 3 classics, 1 tour is available in the demo. These options will hopefully be working by then, but yeah, we'll see. I think so, but they might not. We definitely would like to have different difficulty levels and stuff, but this will also affect if it's once it's implemented. Like this option already works, so we can definitely have that. How many AI teams there are? Yeah, this would affect the difficulty. Might affect how many, how high level your riders can be. And then there should also be some kind of override mode, maybe. I don't know. We shall see how far we get down the line. But 3 classics, 1 tour, fully customizable in that they are randomized, as in the finished game, for the single races, that is. And, well, when you're playing the career mode, of course, all races are randomized at the start of the season, before you make any decisions. So that's all good. Endless content there for hilly stages that are all 400 to 500 nodes long. That's pretty long. It's not the longest of races, but this is up there. Ellisbury, that is a medium length sprint stage, flat stage archetype. Still a few hills in there, as you see, but mostly that should be won by sprinters or baroudeurs. And then we have the Weisshorn Challenge, which is a short mountain stage, 250 to 300 long, but there's some pretty brutal terrain generating sometimes. Like that climb, ouch, big ouchies. So what is in the tour? Well, I think I've shown you already. This is the 3-country challenge, Nahan race, and that one has a really good mix of easier stages. You see here 2 flat hilly, 3 hilly stages, and 1 time trial. And that one looks fun. So what can generate here as time trials? You see loads of different things. Nothing will be exactly the same. So there is a lot of potential content in there. And then you see all the other archetypes there, or archetypes, the other races, and plenty more archetypes as well, that are just like mind-blowing when it comes to content. Because, well, 21 stages, fully randomized, that's a lot of racing you can do there. But even for this one, I think I mentioned it last time, that I would guess around 10 hours of good gameplay time for the free demo. So what is in here for the team setup, for the character customization? Everything. You have free reign within the limits of the difficulty you have set, which aren't implemented just yet. But you can do whatever you like. I've reconsidered some of the balancing here. They have been fleshed out more, and there's some really cool builds you can do now. I'm so looking forward to that, trying it out myself in the testing phase and stuff, and also in Korea, of course. But there is another little tool that we're going to implement for the game mechanics here, and that is that some of the specializations, which need a bit of fine-tuning because they are ever so slightly underpowered or ever so slightly overpowered, is that we can add attack points or energy points to various levels of the specialization. So, for instance, currently it is the case that you do gain, if you choose the sprint specialization, that you do gain a little bit of attack points. And the same thing has been done for time trial, which is riding right at or above your threshold, right? So that's attack. And that makes these a little bit more powerful because they don't get as many core stats, which are always in demand, and that makes them a little weak. But if you gain actual points in that, and attack is worth a lot more than energy, then yeah, that makes up for it, and you can get some pretty interesting stuff. If Mountain itself, because of how powerful a +1 in Mountain is a little too powerful compared to Flat, well, you can just give Flat a little bonus in energy, for instance. That is not implemented just yet, but that is something that we are considering at the moment. And I think that will help smoothen out some of the edges in balance, and at the same time, not only make it more balanced, but a lot more interesting and nuanced at the same time. So this is all cool stuff. You can make whatever riders you want and discover the game mechanics that way. And of course race these tours, and I think that will be a lot of fun. One thing I've also spent some time on is tweaking the prop placement for the different tile sets. And I'm quite happy with where we are now for the dry tile set, and we are getting there for the lush tile set, which is just our internal naming. You don't see that, but the Meranio Classic it should be, is in the dry tile set. It's a Florinian race, and the Weisshorn Challenge is a Hedvesian one, and that one is in the lush tile set. So I'm going to show you this stage now, what it looks like, just briefly, to show you some of the terrain differences in how the props are dynamically spawned so that they create a different feel for the landscape. Well, for some reason that didn't work out and the game decided to crash, and that wasn't good. But let's try with this one instead. Alright, there we are. So definitely a bit of a climbing stage there towards the end. Still hilly, because these are not very steep, and also not very long climbs. Or that last one is pretty long, but yeah, it's quite calm, really. This kicker there is more worrying. You definitely don't have any slipstream across that. So let's kick in the debug mode here, and you see low terrain. Some nice little flowers growing, and here with some trees, bushes. This is all looking quite nice. There's some more trees, low, mid, and low. A little group of trees there. Could be a few more trees maybe, but that's also of course randomized. There we have some more happening, and some more. Oh, that's a little forest there almost. So this is all looking quite calm and nice, and then we move higher up, not there, but if we go over there, and yes, you can now click the profile, and you even see where the camera is going. So that is pretty good. Let's see, this jumps to mid, and you see the appearance of another kind of tree there. And if we go even higher, it becomes drier and a little bit more rocky. You see that the trees are fading away, the bushes are changing. There's a different kind of bush there, this darker type. And we're going flat here, some rocks appearing. Okay, interesting, yes. Going higher and higher, and more cliffs, high, and we'd only get to high. Well, and there are all the spectators. Hello, spectators. If we, on the other hand, take the lush tile set, that's also looking quite good now. but still, I think a little bit more tweaking to be done. Let's take a look at this brutal, fucking ridiculous stage. So there we have that, and let's see where we are. I think we start at the bottom there. Let's head over there. Oh, and it's pissing. Thank you very much. I can use this as a demonstration of the lighting. Let's go to something that is high barren. Sorry for the camera movement. Here, lots of rocks you barely see because there's a lack of shadows at the moment, and that is because of the weather. So if we forward time, you see, appearing here, you have the weather forecast in minutes, basically. Also, everything debug. I don't know if we want to keep that in the game. Maybe. I guess maybe. Doesn't hurt if it's there. You see how it changes with the weather. There you have some nice clouds moving. It's becoming a Bob Ross painting, and it's when it's all sunny, it gets a little more yellowish, more warm in a tint, and so on. It's working quite well. So now the rain is coming. Oh, yeah, a little bit of sun in between, and now it gets real dark. Now it gets real dark. Yes, the rain. Yeah, look at that. Yes, very good. So, as you can see here in this tile set, we do have also, we're mostly in the high, mid-high, and high over here in the region. Some heather and fir trees and stuff, so it's looking nice. And then lots of rocks. And up here, it's barren. The only thing that survives there is people with very good rain clothing. And here in the low sector, we have some oak trees and lots of flowers, as I've shown you, and more spectators. More of them will survive. Let's progress time a little bit here and see how the rain changes. Woof! Oh, it's so nice all of a sudden. Yeah. Okay, I think that's a pretty good showing for what we have at the moment. Lots more little things to do and large things to do. Some more testing, for sure, to iron out some of those bugs. And the tutorials, get the flow right, trying to avoid as many misunderstandings as possible in the time leading up to the demo release. But I think we are overall on a really good track to be releasing the demo with the Steam Game Festival. Oh, I hope you enjoyed, and see you guys next time.